everyone, and welcome to Knit Night with Mekamika. This is episode 2, Under the KAL Spell. My name is Shameka Clark, and I'd like to welcome you on my knitting journey from Brooklyn, New York. I would like to thank all new and returning viewers for coming and checking out my podcast. Like I said, this is my second one. I was a bit nervous, but you know what? I'm actually digging it. So let's see where this goes. First and foremost, I'd like to let you know where you can reach me. Mekamikashop@gmail.com is my email address. I am on Instagram as Mekamikashop. It's spelled M-E-K-A-M-I-K-A shop. I also have an Etsy shop called Mekamika, which is M-E-K-A-M-I-K-A. A lot of people confuse it. They misspell it a little, mispronounce it. It's just Mekamika, play on my name, Shameka. And I just wanted to do something a little different. So, yeah. So what did I say? Okay, Ravelry. I am Shamekaknits, and you can find the Ravelry group for this podcast, Knit Night with Mekamika, on Ravelry. And within that group, I will post all show notes. So let's get on with the show. So I would really like to thank everyone who has already joined the Ravelry group. We have about 44 members right now, and I'm just really happy that everyone has joined. And for those who introduced themselves, I'd like to say a special hello. Those introductions were Mars, whose Ravelry name is Hey Brownberry from the Brownberry Chronicles podcast. I'd also want to say hello to Just Chill 922, which is Cheryl from Chicago. She's been knitting for about 2 years, and she is obsessed with socks and sweaters. So am I, Cheryl. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'd also like to welcome Miss Shinda Melinda from Arkansas, who moved to Portland, Oregon. Rodakishi, who is also Lexi from Brooklyn. Hi, Lexi. Jan Clay from Philadelphia. Thank you for joining, Jan. And the Yarn and I, which is Cappy. And she wants me to say hello to Brian because he says hi. Hi, Brian. I met him during Rhinebeck. She's also interested in doing a knit-along in January. So she has a podcast, The Yarn and I. And we'll see. There's so many knit-alongs going on. I'd like to see where I can squeeze one in. Once we get a good following, it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens. I have followers from everywhere in the world, and this is really exciting. In the US, I have followers from Illinois, Minnesota, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan, Florida, Massachusetts, Maine, Pennsylvania, California, Alabama, Georgia, Virginia, and New York. Now, our foreign members are from Luxembourg, Germany, Alberta, Canada, Gatineau, Quebec, Canada, Taranaki, New Zealand, Iceland, Norway, Germany, Toronto, Ottawa, and Tadweiler, Switzerland. I hope I pronounced that properly. So I would just like to thank everyone for joining, and I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited that everyone is willing to come in and join in on the fun and listen to me talk about knitting. So let's, like I said before, let's get on with the show. The first segment will be finished objects. So I would like to tell you about all the socks that I've done, but I haven't done a lot of socks. In my last podcast, I spoke about knitting 3 pairs of socks for Socktober. That didn't quite happen because life just got in the way. Things happen. And although I have been known for knitting crazy amounts of stitches in a day, I didn't want to push myself too far because I needed a break. So I managed to complete 1 pair of socks, which is Vanilla is the New Black by Anneh Fletcher. And here they are in the Socktober colorway from Query Fiber. And if you look closely at the heel, it has this, oh, you can't see it that way. Well, there's this triangular heel that's kind of ribbed, and I just love these colors. They're so beautiful. It knit up so lovely. Let me hold the other sock up as well. It knit up so lovely. No pulling really. Just the colors just are all over different areas of the yarn, and I love that. This yarn feels super soft. I went, I'd say about 22 rows on the cuff, and I did about 62 rows on the actual length of the foot. Did the heel, and then another 62 rows to get to the toe, and did a normal toe down to decrease down to like 12 stitches, and that's what it said to do in the pattern, the toe decrease. I used the toe decrease from the pattern. These are a little high for me, but it's okay because it is about to get cold in New York, and I need, yeah, I need my legs to be warm. You might hear some noise. That's the heat coming up, Brooklyn. It's just what happens. I may have to call a plumber to take a look at that. But anyway, I'll keep going on. So, I also had another pair of socks that was in the works for Socktober, and that was the Pixel Rise socks by Kemper Ray. It didn't get started. I took forever to figure out what color I wanted to start with, and I had to wind all the yarn because it's still in skeins, and I was just like, I kept saying tomorrow, 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 and next thing you know it was October 28th, and I had to bang out the last sock, and there was just no way I could do it. So I intend to still make the Pixel Rise socks. I just have to, I'll let you know. I'm working on a sock blanket, so if I have enough leftovers, I will use what's left over to make a sock blanket for a special friend. I will tell you more about that a little bit later when I get to whips. So, and the other sock that I had in line for Socktober, excuse me for a minute, I just want to grab this. The other socks for Socktober were the mystery socks, and it was made with Lilliput yarn in Poppy and, let's see if I remember the name of this. I wrote it down somewhere. Poppy and Rover. And it was a colorwork sock designed by Anne from the Carolina Fiber Girls. This is about as far as I got. It is beautiful colorwork though. It wasn't train knitting, and I was in a hurry. I had to finish the other socks, so it just didn't quite happen in time. But Lilliput yarn is one of the yarns that's a sponsor for the Down Cellar Studio Pigskin Party Knit-Along, and I will get points for completing them, so I do intend to complete them before the year is up. So that would be that. Now, shall we move on to whips? Okay, so let's move on to whips. So, like I said, this podcast is about being under the spell of the KAL. So, KAL for Knit-Along. I belong to many Knit-Alongs. One of the major ones that I belong to is the Down Cellar Studio podcast's Pigskin Party Knit-Along, in which you knit during football season, and for everything you knit, the amount of yards you knit, you get a certain amount of points that are relative to touchdowns and field goals and such. So during the course of that, there are interceptions, and there have been recently announced 2 interceptions that I am really excited about. The first interception is a Melanie Berg knit-along, mini knit-along, called the Big Bad Bergalong, and I will get points if I complete a Melanie Berg pattern by the time of, let's see, when is it? November 15th. So I basically have about 8 days to finish this. So I casted on the Void Shawl, and this is where I am right now. I'm falling in love with it. I have completed about 7 pattern repeats, and it's going to have a wingspan of, supposed to have a wingspan of 90 inches. So I calculated my gauge at DK weight, and oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say what yarn it was. Madeline Tosh DK in the tart colorway. So yes, I calculated my gauge at DK weight, and I'm getting, when it reaches the full amount of stitches, it should be around 80 inches. So I will have the option of just continuing on because I have a lot of yarn. I will have the option of, I calculated about between 3 to 4 pattern repeats. So I'll see where I am coming down to the wire because I still have to do a garter edge. So this is left to be determined. However, just look at how beautiful this is. The color is so full of just character, and just, it's fun. I love it. So I can't wait to wrap this around my neck. This is not really enough quite yet, but it'll get there. So I'm excited about this. And the second part of the Down Cellar Studio knit along, the second interception is Whip's interception. So basically I can knit anything that I casted on before September 8th, as long as I finish it before December 31st. I will get points and I'll get lots of yardage. So I'm contemplating, I'm plotting what is going to get me the most yardage. Well, I had casted on a baby blanket for Stash Dash, which was another knit along that happened during the summer that was goal orientated based on yardage. No, actually meterage, because that's what it was. But yeah, Stash Dash. So I didn't quite make it for Stash Dash because it just didn't happen. I mean, it was August. This blanket was getting big. So I've been knitting it piece by piece. And the baby has been born. She's beautiful. And I feel like a bad auntie for not having the blanket done yet. Bad Mika. But I do intend on completing it in time for Christmas. Crossing fingers. If I can knit 2 squares a day, I can totally make this happen. So let me shut up about the blanket and actually show it to you. This is it in its beautifulness. I love it. I love it. So it's about 12 I'll just throw it over my head. It's about 12 blocks long. Is this good enough? Yeah. So all these at the bottom here I need to add 2. So I have 12 blocks across, and then I also have about 7 blocks this way. So I have to add a little more, and yeah, it will be done in time for the baby to enjoy it and grow into it and love it. Not necessarily in time for the birth, but it's all good. To let you know what yarns these are, it is Cascade Heritage in, let's see, let's go here. This would be Iris Mix. And this would be, no, sorry, this is Iris Mix. This is Wild Roses. And this is KnitPicks Stroll Tonal. This color is High Tea. And this color is Seashell. And the gray is Pearlescent. So those are my colors for the blanket. The next knit along that I am going to speak about is the Box of Socks knit along. I have been knitting socks throughout the year, and I figured it's November. I need to take inventory of where my socks are, how much more need to be completed by December 31st. Now, once again, the whips count for the Down Cellar Studio podcast as well. Excuse me, for the Pigskin party as well. So let me show you my sock whips. So I started these on my birthday. And it's a little bit messy. I apologize. Okay, here we go. So these are just plain vanilla socks in the Regia Zufari colorway. The colorway number is 5869. Doesn't really mean much, but so I started at the toe and I added in an afterthought heel placement, and I will be I will be putting in the afterthought heel once I finish the length of the sock. Since it was my birthday, I made this little chocolate cake stitch marker. Stay still, please. Oh, boo. It doesn't want to behave. Let's see if we can do it this way. No, you don't want to behave. Here we go. Okay, whatever. It just doesn't want to behave. So, so that's one sock whip. And then I have another sock whip that I made with some neon yummy 2-ply toes that I bought from Miss Babs. I think this color is Dahlia. I really can't remember. And then there's this black and white mixture of color that is, I think it's Graphic. I say I think it's Graphic because I think I picked up Graphic and Ansel, and I can't remember which one I cast it on, but this is a sock. So it's going to have contrasting heels and toes. And I got to the point where right there you can see the heel area for the afterthought heel. So I'm working on those. Hopefully I'll get my points because I'll get them done before the 31st of December. And that would be that. So I still have more socks. So let's get on with the sock show, I guess you can say. I'm sorry, I have all this yarn just hanging out here. Okay, so I had completed a pair of Vanilla is the New Black socks in KnitPicks Stroll Tonal. So this is one pair. I love them, they're so soft. So that is the colorway is High Tea again, and I have used this color a lot. I really like KnitPicks Stroll Tonal. It's cheap and it's really soft. And I have more KnitPicks love going on here. I made a pair of rainbow socks in Felici. Here we go. And they are mostly identical except for this little blue piece right here, but I'm not really complaining about it. So there we go. That's pair number 2. Pair number 3, I remember knitting this for winter camp early in January. And they are really long. I used the whole skein of KnitPicks Felici in the Surf's Up colorway, and I added a Stroll Tonal color. I can't remember the name of it right now. It might be Blue Yonder. So that I can get extra points for yardage because it's a knee sock. So that's pair number 3. And I had, this was my first Regia yarn that I've used. And it's just a self-patterning sock. And I really didn't care if it was exactly alike. I just wanted to cast on a pair of socks and just go with it. So these are my socks. 56 stitches because Regia was a little heftier than the KnitPicks Stroll Tonal that I use. And that was that. Toe up, afterthought heel, I'm really a fan of this afterthought heel. So that would be 4 pairs. These are my monkey socks. The yarn is from Poste yarns from Simply Sock Yarn Company in the Kingdom of Florin colorway. This was part of a Valentine's Day gift that I received. So I like the colors. It's targy sock. It's a little bit rough, but I think after a little bath, it'll soften up a bit. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the piece de la resistance. Kate Atherley designed this sock in her book. God, I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll post it here. Custom Socks, duh. And it's called the Fitzcarraldo knee sock. Look at this cabling along the back of the sock. These socks are really long. I can't wait to wear these, especially when it's cold and snowy and I have to put my Uggs on to trudge through the snow. This is gonna be perfect. So yes, Fitzcarraldo knee sock. It is made from KnitPicks Hawthorne in the Turkish Delight colorway. Oh, I'll show you the other one. So I made this for, I think it was Stash Dash as well. So I got a few socks. I am really aiming towards finishing 12 pairs of socks for the year. And this box of socks Knitalong is put on by Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast, also of Voolenvine Yarns. And I'm really happy to help support her with her Knitalong. And speaking of Kristen from Voolenvine Yarns, I have another whip that I'm going to use for the Down Cellar Studio podcast Pigskin party that of a pattern that Kristen designed called Ville d'Esmier. And it's a shawl. I'm using her yarn in the Volke base, and the name of the colorway is Love Song. And let me show you the, okay, here we go. So I have completed about, I would say 85 to 90% of tangles. 85 to 90% of tangles. No. 85 to 90% of the pattern. I am at the point where I am getting this yarn tangled in my Game of Thrones stitch marker. Come on, dragon. Stop it. Almost there. Almost there, guys. Sorry. Yeah, here's a little dragon guy. One of the Targaryen dragons. Yeah. Maybe Rhaegar. I can't remember. Anyway, so this is my Ville d'Esmier shawl. And it's so pretty. It's so soft. And looking up close, I'm looking to see if I can zoom in on a couple of these beads. So I'm at the point right now where I'm picking up the edging. Oh, here we go. So I'm picking up the edging here and working on the edging. So once the edging is done, so got a little ways to go, but once the edging is done, that's it, it's done. And I can get the points and I can block it and it'll open up really nicely and it'll be soft and squishy and it's pink, mauve pink, yeah. So you know I love it. So thank you, Kristen, for designing this beautiful, beautiful shawl and yarn. And a little story about the yarn. I bought it when she had her first trunk show at Do You Knit. This was, gosh, was it in April? No, I can't remember what month it was, but it was a while back. And the trunk show started at a certain time and we got there maybe an hour or an hour and a half after it started. And there was like literally 3 skeins left. And I didn't see anything I liked. I was like, womp womp, very, very disheartened. And then I saw someone put this color on the table, so I grabbed it and I said it's mine because nobody was claiming it and it was my favorite color. So I bought it and gave her the card, swipe, good to go, and I was very happy. And it's kind of strange, but in a good way, because Kristen's yarn is so nice that she literally will sell out in 5 minutes on her website. And although we live a train ride away, I had to drive to, or get a ride to New Jersey to get her yarn, and I will do it again. That being said, she is going to have another trunk show on the 19th at Do You Knit from 12 to 4. I will be there at 11 o'clock because I am not going to be at the tail end of this, okay? I'm not even gonna worry with driving and traffic. I will jump on the train, the bus, whatever. It'll be scheduled. I'll get there in time. So I'm looking forward to the trunk show on the 19th at Do You Knit in Westfield, New Jersey? Yes, Westfield, New Jersey. So that day, there's another knitting extravaganza going on. I'll be traveling all over the world just for knitting, which is what I love to do. Woolen is having the Indie Untangled trunk show. And when I was in Rhinebeck 2 years ago, that was my first Indie Untangled trunk show, and it was insane. Like, first of all, the amount of different artists you get in one room is just phenomenal. And these are like, I've heard of this company before, and I might have seen it on Etsy once or twice, or someone may have wrote about it on Instagram or posted about it on Instagram, and it's in your face. You see all the colors, and it's just like, oh my God, I have to buy it. But there were so many people. So it was hard to get through to really see everything, but I was able to pick up, I think, 2 skeins of yarn from White Birch Fiber Arts. This was 2 Rhinebecks ago. So this year during Rhinebeck, I totally missed the car ride to go to Indie Untangled because I was knitting my sweater. So it's totally okay. I just feel like I'm privileged now to have the opportunity to go again. So there are going to be 10 different artists featured. I'm not sure who they are just yet, but I'm excited to find out who they are. And this will happen from 7 to 9 p.m. at Woolen, 105 Atlantic Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. And you actually have to purchase tickets in advance because there's limited space, and I guess they're trying to, you know, do crowd control or whatever. So I already purchased my ticket. I checked online today. There were still tickets available. So if you're interested, go get them while you can, and support indie dyers because they are just beautiful artists and need to be supported. So hopefully I will be able to go there and get something really good. I'm setting aside some funds so that I can be able to buy exactly what it is that I want. So those are my travel plans for any knitting related things in short term. Long term would be definitely Vogue Knitting Live in January. I can't miss that. And even further away in March, I am crossing fingers, putting plans together to go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I am so excited. I just listened to the Knit British podcast. I think it was episode 69. And they spoke about, they interviewed Jo and Mika. Yes, her name is Mika. My name is Mika, but she spells it M-I-C-A. But okay, whatever. Yes, so they interviewed Jo and Mika about what they're bringing to the table this year at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I am just super excited. I'm kind of sad that Woolenvine won't be there, but there's going to be a whole bunch of other yarn dyers that I can't wait to try out, and so many things that I can't wait to experience. So I am totally looking forward to it. Plans have not been set in stone yet, but I am speaking this into existence. I will be there, God's willing. So there you go. So now let's move on to one of the most fun parts about knitting: buying stuff and getting it in the mail. So I was on Instagram, and you know, you just happen to be perusing when you have nothing to do, and all of a sudden somebody puts up, "Hey, pre-order for my bags." So one Sock Wonder on Etsy has put up this beautiful, cute little reindeer bag. They're drinking champagne. It's like Christmas wine or a New Year's Eve party or something in between. I think it's so cute. So I received them today in the mail, and from the time I purchased it, it just came really quickly. I will show you her card. Oi, there we go. And I'm going to flip it over so you can see her information. There you go. So One Sock Wonder bags. I am so sorry, excuse me. One Sock Wonder bags, and oh, let me show you the inside. It's plaid. So it's just a little bag I can put a sock in, or maybe just a one skein of yarn type, one yarn skein project type bag. So it's really cute, and whatever I cast on next is going in here. So maybe I'll do some Christmas socks. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, I have a bunch of Christmas sock yarn, so I might as well put it to work. So here we go. And okay, so I have a big KnitPicks box that came in because after I received so much feedback on my Happily sweater, I decided that I love it and I wanted to make another one. So I decided to work out some color schemes, and then I made two different color schemes, two, not four, two different color schemes, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted. So one is cool and one is warm. So I'm going to show you both now. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know where to start. I want to do both, and I'm going to need your help to help me choose. So what I'm going to do, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a poll in the Ravelry group, and maybe I'll do a poll in the Instagram group as well and see which one becomes the winner. Oh, I don't want to do two that's going to fight each other. I'll just put it in the Ravelry group, and I'll direct everyone from Instagram to the Ravelry group to help me make a decision. How about that? Yes. So the first one, well, of course, it's, you know, the contrasting color is KnitPicks palette, this white color. And the first warm tone that I have, it's a pink. Of course it's pink because I love pink. So this will be the main color, which is Blossom Heather. And it's going to gradate into Cotton Candy. See if I can do this. And then, what's the name of this color? Cosmopolitan. And then Fuchsia. Oh. And Fairy Tale. So these are the first, this is the first set number one. And then, oh, my camera battery's looking at me like it wants to die. Sorry. Oh, second set is Sagebush, Caribbean or Caribbean, Tranquil, Calypso Heather. Funny that it says Caribbean and Calypso. Haha. And the last color is Marine Heather. So, woo! Okay, that is not good. Okay, so let's do this. Really? Okay, let's do this for real now. Squishy, squishy, different color blues. This is not lining up the way I want it to, and it's really driving me mad. Okay, here we go. Something like that. So yeah, pink or blue, guys, let me know. I would love to start this November 15th if I can, if I finish the void shawl in time. So, cause it's NaNoWriMo, hello. Gotta bang out a sweater in this month of November. So help me pick a color. And one last thing that I received, KnitPicks has new speckle colors. So I got Hawthorne fingering in Italian ice, and it's just really pretty. Oh, it's blowing out. Oh, boo. Well, yeah, there we go. It's better color. So yeah. So that would be my podcast for today. I hope I didn't forget anything. Make-alongs, knit-alongs, that's what's driving me mad right now. In a good way. So, like I said before, the Down Cellar Studio podcast's Pigskin party and the transitions make-along that I mentioned last week, I am definitely going to try to finish this NaNoWriMo sweater for that as well, because it's transitioning from one color to the next. That ends on December 2nd, and my other make-alongs are going to be completed December 31st. So I got a lot of knitting ahead of me. And oh, I forgot one thing. Sticks Plus Twine podcast. There is going to be, or actually running right now, is a pie shawl knit along. So I bought this Freya yarn to make a pie shawl. And of course the name of it is escaping me right now. It's something to do with winter. And the whole point of me getting this color was to heat up the winter. Gosh, I'm gonna post a picture of it right here. I know it was designed for Brooklyn Tweed. Brooklyn! So I know it was designed for Brooklyn Tweed magazine, and I think it would be really awesome. I just don't know, do I do purple going into orange, then orange into purple, or orange into purple, then purple into orange? I don't know. Does that make sense? Yeah, it'll be kind of like the inside out version of this thing, one flowing into the next. But basically, whatever color I start with is the color that'll be the edge. So what do you think? Let me know. What do you think? I'm gonna, yeah, like I said, I posted it there, and I will see what you guys say. I do want to cast this on. I know I sound like a crazy cast on person, like I'm gonna have way too many things going on, and I probably will. But there's a method to my madness. The socks will be knit on the train, and the lacy things like this will be knit while I'm home watching TV, or listening to the TV more so than watching. But anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful week. I look forward to speaking with you again. Thank you for checking out my podcast. Happy knitting, everyone. I'm gonna do this.